Good evening, and welcome to Pace School's 2021 Taste for Pace. We're excited to have all of you join us tonight in this virtual event, which allows us to have friends near and far be part of the activity. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, especially A. Martini and Company, who have been sponsoring and supporting Pace School for over 21 years, both financially supporting our events as well as helping us create this wonderful learning environment in the building that you see behind me. We're very excited to have all of your support as well. Your support is invaluable as we continue to educate and try to nourish the hearts and minds of the students that we work with every day. But tonight, we're talking about a different kind of nourishment. So what do you say? Let's get cooking.
Good evening. Welcome to Taste for Pace 2021. I'm Tricia Norris, Development Manager here at Pace School, and this is Karen Shepard, our CEO.
Nice to meet everybody, see everybody tonight. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk just a minute about the virtual format for our event this evening. While we would love to see all of you in person and especially here in our building, this is the format that we had to choose. Although a virtual format has a lot of positives that go along with it. For example, I think my daughter is watching us from Bowie, Maryland. So how wonderful is that? Hi, Steph. So it does allow us to have an opportunity to bring people in that aren't living in Pittsburgh to have a chance to see a little bit and enjoy this fun event with us this evening. Just a couple of housekeeping things. There is closed captioning available. Should you need that, it should be at the bottom of your screen. You should be able to select that. And the second thing is, Trish and I are unmasked. We typically would be masked while we're in the school building, but we are socially distancing and both of us happen to be vaccinated. So we felt that for you to be able to hear us clearly, we would just not wear our masks this evening. So with that, I think we're ready to go ahead and kick off the day.
Yeah, I'm super excited to share with everybody the cooking demonstration videos that we have for you tonight. But just kind of thinking back to, almost a half a year ago now when we tried to decide what were we going to do for Taste for Pace 2021. We didn't know what the world was going to look like. We didn't know if we could go in somewhere or out somewhere. So we decided to plan a virtual event. And we wanted to do something where everybody could be involved, that we could get input from people from Maryland and across the country to not only support school, but to kind of create a community and spend a little time together. And what brings people together better than food and recipes? Everybody has a favorite recipe. If you ask your mom for a favorite recipe, she's going to give you a couple of favorite recipes. So we asked you for your favorite recipes and we got over 70 recipes submitted. And the committee then looked at those recipes. We took the names off, did a blind judging where we scored the recipes and we came up with 3 finalists. So tonight you're going to see those recipes prepared by some local Pittsburgh celebrities. And you are going to, in just a little bit, you'll get to meet the people that submitted those recipes as well. So the first recipe that we're going to see prepared was submitted by Miss Julie Felesday from Wexford. And she submitted a recipe for sauerkraut bites. I've made them, they're delicious. But we are going to get to watch Mr. Chris Fenimore from WQED prepare this delicious recipe and take a look, see what you think.
Hi, I'm Chris Fenimore. I got my brand new Pace apron on. Very proud to be wearing that. I'm going to prepare one of the recipes that's been selected as a finalist in this contest. These are sauerkraut bites, and the recipe was sent to us from Julie Felesday in Wexford. And I've already started this recipe, get a little head start on it by putting browning some sausage meat and then draining it because otherwise you'd have too much fat in this dish. But actually this dish doesn't have that much fat in it. Once you drain the sausage, all you have is that great sausage taste. And then there is some chopped onion that gets put in there and cooked until the onion is really fairly well caramelized. All right, that's actually pretty much done. And I'm gonna turn that off for now, okay? Now we start to, the next part of the process is to mix together the ingredients for, I'm gonna mix together the ingredients to make the balls. And so what I have is the sauerkraut, that's in the recipe. I can tell you how much it is, in case you needed to know. It is a 14-ounce can of sauerkraut. We're actually making a reduced version of that recipe, so better to look at the recipe some other place and just follow these instructions for preparation. All right, I'm going to mix that together with the sauerkraut. All right. and you just want to get that fairly well mixed. And the next thing we're going to add is some dry breadcrumbs, but not a lot, just a little bit in this part of it. They'll be surrounded by breadcrumbs later on. And but this is just to dry out the mixture a little bit so that it forms a nice little bites, the bites that we have to make. And then we're going to add some spices. This is some parsley. I want to make sure I got all this. Parsley, prepared mustard, garlic salt, and pepper. And I'm going to put that all into there. Stir that around. And then the secret ingredient, it's not really a secret, is some cream cheese. And that's going to bind it all together. All right. And now you can see all this. You want to mix that fairly well. Now, fortunately, and as they say through the magic of television, we have a batch of this that has already been mixed together. And what we're going to do now is a process that was really the beginning of my childhood in the kitchen. Flour, egg, and bread. So we have an egg and a little bit of milk. A little bit of milk helps it to stick together. And I'm just going to beat that egg into the milk. Smells good. While I'm doing that, I'm going to swap out my pans because I have a pan that I need to heat with the oil in it because we're going to fry these little bites. There we go. All right. So here's the mixture that I have. And I'm just going to make, you see how the cream cheese, when it's all mixed in, creates something that comes together as a little golf ball sized bite. I think they should be petite. I'm going to make 2 of them here to show you. So now you've got the meat, the cheese, the spices, a little bit of breadcrumb to hold it together. Toss this around in the flour. I'm going to toss this into the egg. And let that, I'm going to turn on my oven because I have some that we're going to have a taste of. You can't have a demonstration like this without actually tasting it. Turn those around. And this is a great job to do with kids, by the way. Learning how to cook by flour, egg, and bread was the standard process in my growing up kitchen. It was one of your first jobs. Now I'm just going to get them all coated with some breadcrumbs. And these are unseasoned breadcrumbs. I would imagine that you could use seasoned breadcrumbs if you liked, but the seasoning is already in the mixture, so it's not necessary to put seasoned breadcrumbs. All right, and then I'm just going to put these in the oil. And of course, so we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I use cast iron pans for almost all of my cooking now, especially here at home. And the reason is that, first of all, they last forever. They become non-stick, but you can't, you don't scrape out the inside. There's nothing, and nothing goes into your food that's not supposed to be there. So that's one of the reasons why I love them. All right, so these are gonna, we're gonna get that heat up a little bit more. In the meantime, I'm gonna make 1 more while those are getting heated up because how many we have people here? You know, we always have people who want to taste what we're making in the kitchen, and today is no exception. I'm going to do 1 more here. Roll that around, a little bit in the egg. I use a fork for the egg part. Then into the breadcrumb. Now these, obviously everything that's in here is cooked. So these are not in the oil so that they can cook through. They are there just to get a nice brown color onto them. And that's what we're starting to get. And you can hear it when the temperature is correct. So it's going to start to get brown on all sides, and then you take them out and you put them into the oven and you bake them until they're heated all the way through. And that's when they're ready to serve. And we actually have some that were made ahead of time. Well, they brown up pretty quickly once you get them going. I'm going to take these out of the oven so we have a taste. Oh my, oh, we have plenty to taste. Turn those off for now. I'm going to put these onto a little serving platter. You can imagine these at your next little gathering. Something to ruin everybody's appetite, I think. There you go. These are sauerkraut bites, and they are from Julie Fulisday in Wexford. And Julie, thank you for the recipe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Great combination of flavor. The sausage. And I love the cream cheese, the way it holds it all together, binds it all together. Your guests are going to love these. Sauerkraut bites.
Hi, I'm Shane Coach. This is my husband, JD Coach, our daughter, Trista, and our son, Noah. And our daughter, Trista, has been at Pace since May 2012. So this spring is 9 years. And she started at Pace because public school just wasn't the right fit for her. She wasn't meeting all of her needs, and I don't think she really felt comfortable there.
Well, I didn't like school before, but I like it now.
Back before she came to Pace, I did used to worry about her because we were both at the same school and everything. We were just like a grade apart, and it would sometimes almost happen, like very often, that things would sometimes escalate, and I would still worry about her, but whenever she started coming here, I noticed that how much better it has gotten.
Before she started at Pace, I really had no idea what her future was going to look like. I knew that we always wanted her to have the best future that she possibly could, as you do for any child. But for having a child with different needs, it was sometimes scary. And now anything's possible for her. And we have the skills and the tools that we need to get there.
Like, she got a lot more creative. She got a lot more out of her shell. She started making friends and everything. People who she can rely on and talk to.
You're ready to cry.
Family hug.
Go to Mama again.
Over here.
You know he loves you.
Yeah, I know.
We're all proud of you.
Thanks.
We would like to thank Pace School in ensuring that Trista has the education for her future. And we'd also like to thank you for the support that given to Pace to make sure all the other students get a quality education and preparing them for their future.
Well, it's always so gratifying to hear the impact that the services that PACE provides has on not only children or students, but their families as well. I really want to thank Trista and her family for sharing that part of their story with us. I think it helps to really speak to the mission. Our mission is to provide education and therapeutic services that enable any child to thrive. And in this case, I think Trisha's demonstrating that she is thriving. So thank you again very much, Trista and your family, for sharing that with us. I also want to thank, as you just heard, I want to thank our sponsors. You had a chance to see those names at the beginning of this event. I want to thank them. Their support and your support helps us to enhance the services that we do provide to the students. And it really allows us to provide some things outside of the norm. And I think, Trish, you were going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Karen and I are sitting right now in what is the Daily Living Skills Room at PACE. And this is just one example of kind of the enriched services that kids get when they come to school here. It's not just reading and math and science, although we do that. Daily Living Skills is where they learn things like cooking and sewing and hygiene and housekeeping and kind of those things that can just sometimes get forgotten. But we focus on that here at PACE. We focus on those skills. We focus on social emotional skills, and it takes the support of a lot of people to be able to provide those kind of services for our students. The Daily Living Skills Room also reminds me, thinking about Trista,
Right.
just a few years ago, we did a project with, it was called Project Lunch Tray, and the students themselves had to develop recipes, and our students developed a mac and cheese recipe, and I think they did like a bananas flambe, and it got very fancy, and there was a competition at the convention center, and they won.
We won.
And it was such an exciting day for everybody. You know, here at Pace, we have kind of a long-standing tradition of loving food and loving kids in a lot of different ways.
Right.
So we have the next recipe is ready to. We're ready to see.
Right. Right. So we're ready for our second finalist. And our second finalist is Jessica Leah. And she presented a recipe for pineapple stuffing, which sounds just delightful. And our Pittsburgh's own Sally Wiggin is going to be the chef that's preparing that.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Sally Wiggin, and I am delighted to be doing this for Taste for Pace. We're going to see a recipe that was one of the finalists, presented by Jessica Leah from Pittsburgh, and it is delicious. Not very hard to do. Actually, it's not hard at all. And all it takes is 15 minutes of prep time. Bake it for an hour in your oven. The ingredients, simple. Butter, sugar, kosher salt, eggs, crushed pineapples, and bread. Preheat your oven just to 350. And by the way, you're going to want to spray with a nonstick spray your pan that you're putting it into. So here we go. Now, first, I'm going to we have in a large bowl, we're going to put in the 1/2 cup of butter, and it's softened. There you go. Get that in there. Then we put in 1/2 cup granulated sugar. Okay, only a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher. Make sure it's kosher salt. Here we go. And then, and I am going to now whip this for 5 minutes. Okay, now we're not going to do this for 5 minutes, as you'd be bored to death, or you're getting really hungry, and also you don't have to hold it up. We're going to keep it down, but we'll put this down right here, and now we are going to whip in 4 large eggs. You're supposed to do these individually. So this is what we're going to put it into so that we can skip the step of 5 minutes. And just for convenience sake, we'll put in the 4 eggs at once, but you really are supposed to put them in one at a time while you're whipping. So guys, I'm going to switch over here and do the whipping of the eggs. Whip these in. Oops. Come on, let's go. There we go. There we go. Whip, 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 whip. Okay. All right, so we're going to whip that. Now, we're not going to, the next thing we put in is the pineapple. So this is, we're going to fold this in. You guys know how to fold. So we put the whole thing in. There you go. Folding, 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 folding. All right. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is put in the bread pieces. Also fold those in. Ooh, one of them fell. Hold on, let me get that little booger. Okay, and we fold this, and the bread, fold the bread in. I do not cook very often anymore, so folding is something that's beyond my abilities, but you get the drift. See, it's beginning to get thicker. All right. And we need now, we've got this. Now I need to get the pan out of here that we're going to put it in. It's greased, okay? This is a greased pan, and we'll pour it in there. Okay, hold on. Whoops. Oh, that looks delicious. Oops, that little booger didn't get in there. So, I dropped my spoon. All right, let's put this in. Ow. Put this in the oven. 350, remember, guys. And there we go. But with the magic of television, we're going to show you the finished product. And, okay, I got it. Here you go. There it is. Oh, doesn't that look cute? This is a side dish. You can have it with breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm just going to stick a fork in it. Ooh, yummy. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Not with anything. Meat, beans. What? Let's see what it tastes like. Oh my gracious. Oh, I'm going to have some more. That's awesome. Leah, thank you. I mean, Jessica, Leah, thank you very much. This was delicious. I couldn't say it right because I'm just thinking about how scrumptious it is. Thanks very much, and great taste for pace.
Delicious. It looks delicious. And I happen to know that Trisha was able to have an early taste test
I
of
did.
this.
I made it for Easter, and it is delicious. And it went with my ham, but I think you could put ice cream
I think
on
ice
it.
cream on it sounds like it would be really great.
I mean,
I think I want to do the ice cream
it's
thing.
delicious.
Okay, so we have delicious recipes. We've seen 2 of our 3. And Trish, how do we find out about the other 70 recipes?
What's that, Karen?
What is that?
You'd like to know how to get these recipes? The Taste for Pace cookbook. It is available now for pre-order. I expect it to come in May. And if you just go to www.tasteforpace.org, scroll to the bottom of that first page and click pre-order my cookbook, you will be sent a Taste for Pace 2021 cookbook with over 70 recipes that really are delicious. It's such a fun collection of recipes from family and friends. And my favorite part ended up being we had a form in there that said, tell me about your recipe. And I thought people would just say things like, serve chilled, but we got some really great stories. And so a lot of these recipes have beautiful stories that go with them. They're meaningful to some families. So it's a fun little cookbook. It will be in May. $10 donation gets the cookbook and the shipping to you. So tasteforpace.org to get that.
Taste for Pace on our website, right? So tasteforpace.org. So that's where you'll be able to find them. And I think later this evening, when we have a chance to meet our 3 finalists, we're going to be able to hear some of those stories, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be able to hear what their story is about their recipe.
Exactly.
All right. So that brings us to, I believe, our 3rd and final submission, which is Jim Earl, who presented the recipe for Cajun penne pasta, and it's being prepared by Sheldon Ingram from WTAE.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheldon Ingram. I'm excited about being here to help out with the cooking demonstration. So I have the recipe that belongs to Jim Earl of the North Hills, and it's his Cajun penne pasta. Yeah, this is it right here. So by the time I get done with this cooking demonstration, Jim's Cajun penne pasta is going to be world class. It's going to be on the Food Network. It's going to be on the Cooking Channel. He is going to be the man. So to get things started, I have my apron with my name on it. So that means I'm official. I am legit. The ingredients are waiting for me. So let's make Jim famous with that Cajun penne pasta. Okay, so we're going to pick up this recipe with the sauteed pepper, red pepper, and a red onion. And Jim is telling us to put this in a pretty large skillet because we're using 1 pound of penny pasta eventually that you'll see shortly. So we have a pretty large skillet here. This one is about 12.5 inches, 13 inches in diameter. So we have the peppers and the onion sauteing pretty well. They're nice and soft, and they're ready to receive some company from first the cream cheese, and then the butter. And we want to reduce the heat a little bit, so I'm going to let that reduce just a little longer. And I want to add some Parmesan cheese. Let's see here. Recipe is calling for Parmesan cheese, so I'm going to add all of that. Yeah, that's a nice, rich base for what's about to happen next. So let's see here. As I look over the recipe, it is calling for the milk, garlic powder, and Cajun seasoning. So I'm going to add that. Here's 1 cup of milk. And here's the Cajun seasoning and garlic powder to go with it. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to add the crumbled sausage, and then we're going to add the chicken, and then we're going to add, once we get that mixed in there, we'll add our pasta. Here we go. And we will spend the rest of our time mixing this all together into one big, delicious Cajun penny pasta to make Jim happy and proud. And here's the final product, Jim Earl's Cajun.
All the food looks so delicious. It's making me hungry.
Right.
I have to tell you, it was a really close contest. So in order to determine the grand prize winner, first, second, and third places, we actually gave the same scoring card that the committee used to choose the recipes to those 3 judges. And so they chose, they scored the recipes. And right now we're going to start to let the finalists in. So you at home will get to see them. Just forewarned, this is the most complicated part. First, we have
Julie
Julie Felesday. People just have to turn on their cameras and unmute themselves. Then we'll be able to have a little chat.
Hi.
Julie.
Hello.
Hi, Julie and Brett.
So Julie, was it?
Oh, and there.
And
there we
Jen.
go. All right, hi.
And one more, we'll bring in Jessica. In the meantime, Julie.
Yay, and there's Jessica. Hi, Jess.
So Julie, was it so exciting for you to see Chris Fenimore make your recipe? Because
yes,
Yeah.
I have known about Chris Fenimore for a long time. I remember a couple years ago watching The Frugal Gourmet
Right.
with my mom and sister. So that was really cool.
I know. It was very exciting. We were so grateful that he agreed
Absolutely.
to help us out because he is one of my culinary heroes as well.
Absolutely.
Julie, is there anything that you want to tell us about your sauerkraut bite recipe?
Well, it's just something that's been in my family since, I don't know, I was a little girl. I remember my parents in our, 1980 kitchen rolling these sauerkraut bites. And it was funny when Chris was talking about, it's great for kids, because I remember getting a little older with my brother and sister making these with my
that's
parents.
great.
And I think any recipe that can bring kids and parents together to share an experience, that is just, to me, I love to cook, and that that's something I want to pass on to other people.
Yeah,
That's
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. And a way to get kids to eat sauerkraut, right?
well, that's true, actually. And for a long time, that was the only way I ate sauerkraut.
Well,
Yeah.
it is delicious. Thank you. for
Thank
sharing
you.
with
Thank
us.
you. And Jim, I just have to ask, I watched all that spice go in that penne pasta. How hot is that? Is it really spicy?
It can be a little hot. It depends on how much spice you put in there. But
Yeah, we
it's
want
actually,
to.
Sheldon gave me the credit, but it's actually Heather's recipe. She,
Oh, Heather, okay.
Chris has actually never made Cajun penne.
No. Oh. That's
Oh,
funny.
well, it looks really great. And I know that my granddaughter loves pasta. So this will be one of those recipes that I'll definitely put into my cookbook. I'll pull it out of the cookbook and use it. So thank you so much for, do you have a story about it?
Yeah, it was actually pandemic inspired. So one of our favorite restaurants where we get it, and a lot of times we do takeout as a family there, and it was our favorite dish. They closed during the pandemic, so we couldn't get our favorite pasta. So that's what Heather said. I'll try to make it myself.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we will all be enjoying your penne pasta.
I hope so. I did my best.
Delicious.
That's great. That's great.
And Jess, what do you want to share about your pineapple stuffing? I did make it for Easter and it is delicious.
Did you make it with the ham loaf?
I did not. So I did ask Jess, like, what do you make this with? And she said ham loaf, which I love ham loaf and haven't had it in a long time. So Jess also shared with me her ham loaf recipe.
Oh.
Yes.
So was it a holiday tradition for you, Jess, or do you serve it?
I just started doing it when I grew up. My family, all of them are bakers, and unfortunately, I didn't inherit the recipes. They've gotten lost over time.
Right.
And if you ask any of my family members, they'll tell you, well, I'm not going to give you a recipe because you're just going to alter it. Which I do, which is in that recipe I put in there, add a little more bread, do this.
Right.
I have to have my twist on everything.
Well, it's delicious and everybody should make it. So thank you for submitting it.
Yes.
You're welcome.
But before we announce the grand prize winner, I just want to point out we have beautiful gift baskets for everybody. So there will be a first, second, and third prize winner tonight. But everything in these gift baskets was donated by our wonderful friends and family of Pace. So we have things from the Ninja Spiralizer, everybody's getting wine, some gift certificates to some great local stores. The grand prize winner is actually getting a $500 gift certificate to Williams Sonoma. So I'm a little bit jealous. But again, this is just kind of another example of the way that people support Pace School and how grateful we are for that support so that we can share it as a part of this event. So
Absolutely.
I have the results here. We're going to do it a little bit like Miss America. Karen's going to announce the third prize winner, and then she'll announce the grand prize winner. Kind of like Miss America, right? So the envelope.
Have they been locked and secured?
Yes,
and no
and
one
the
has seen?
accountants counted all the votes. It's
All right.
very official.
Great, very official. Okay, well, the third place winner for this evening's Taste for Pace cooking competition is the Earl family. Yay. Yay. Congratulations. We will
Thank
make
you.
arrangements with you on how to give you your lovely prize.
Yes.
Thank you for submitting your recipes. I can't wait. All right, so here comes the grand prize winner. Fingers crossed. Ba-da-da-da. Grand prize winner is Ms. Jessica Leah.
Yay!
Gosh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I'm going to put ice cream on mine. I know. Let's do it.
I have to try the ice cream thing. You've got me inspired.
Yes.
Yeah, we thought it could be breakfast, could be a
Yes.
So,
Very
but
versatile.
again, we want to thank everyone. 70 some people submitted recipes and made this whole event possible. The cookbook is going to be great. It has all categories of food, desserts, appetizers, entrees. It was great to have local celebrities participate with us. They got to learn a little bit about the work that we do at Pace, and we had a chance to share your recipes with them, which was really very fun. And Trisha actually got to meet her culinary hero, so that was really good too. So
It has been.
Thank you.
And that's a
that's
wrap.
it. So congratulations, winners. Thank you, everyone else who joined us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget to get your cookbook.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Thanks.
Good night. Thank you.